Okay, I want to start this one with saying I have found a lot of solutions, and I've decided this channel was way too negative. It's not about me; it's about the process, about the situation. I've been counting my blessings, and I think I've found some solutions to my problems. When I started looking at things, this is Mark again, and if you didn't already know, my channel is retired and rebuilding. I'm trying to regain my independence after financial loss and health problems hit me a little earlier and put me into retirement long before I was ready for it, and really wasn't ready for it anyway. But in all of the you know videos that I've had before, I've looked at my plan, my thing, and it's all great. Um, Looking down the road, what I want to do, and I definitely would like to do that. But I started counting my blessings and look, I'm extremely lucky to be where I am. Got a place to live, very comfortable, living with my daughter and son-in-law. No, I'm not independent, but it's great. I have nothing to complain about. I've got enough money to get by, even if I didn't work a bit, I would get by. So I'm far better off than most people, and I feel for people that are in worse situations than I am, by a long shot. Uh, the fact that I don't have a comfortable retirement to move into and be independent and be on my own right now is, partially my own problem and partially just, life. It happens. But I'm very lucky to be where I am. And I have, for the last 20 years or so, loved going camping. And I've mentioned in previous videos, but that I, consider just, doing all this in my car, taking off and living in my car for a while. Not that I rule that out, but I've got to thinking rationally. That's a problem with, have a tendency to get a little bit of the fight or flight mentality, and when you get frustrated, when you get really anxious and stressed about your problems, you just want to get away from them, and sometimes it makes you make decisions that are wrong, and I worry about that a lot. But you just got to be as careful as you can. I don't have anybody to really bounce my ideas off of that much. I can talk to my daughter, but I don't talk to her much about this kind of stuff. Um, I kind of think of my, you know, this YouTube channel as sitting down with my camera and talking to them. Sometimes just hearing the problems and talking to them out loud, kind of helps you see it differently, see it from other people's perspectives. And I think that's been helpful to me. I don't care if anybody watches. I can sit down and watch this, talk to a camera, and it gives me as about as much good as going to, $100 an hour, psychologist or a therapist and talking to them for a while. I hadn't done much of that, but can't afford to. So this is the best I can do, and I think it's been great. But in all that, it's brought me around to where I am. I've always been one to make the best of what I've got. I've always thought of myself as being one you want to have around when there's trouble, because I can find what we have and make best use out of it, and make it. Been in difficult situations plenty of times, and pull myself through, and I know it will. I've always known that when you're in difficult times, it will get better. So just bear with it, knuckle down, hunker down, do whatever you can, just keep pushing forward. Don't give up, and just keep pushing forward, and eventually it'll get better. And what I've come to the conclusion of is, I enjoy camping very much. I may not have much in the way of resources right now by any means, but I do have a reliable car. I do have a lot of camping equipment, and I can go camping very comfortably. And I thought, what is my main goal here? my main goal is to get some, I guess, just some solitude and some. It's not that it's not quiet here. You'd think living with two teenage, kids is, it'd be a lot, be a lot of noise but no, it's really quiet and don't have any. It's just the get into a situation where you feel like, I don't have anybody to answer to today. I don't have anybody to worry about anything today. I can just sit, and I can do that when I go camping. I took a trip here a while back, and um, I used it. I was gone for 11 days. I lived in my car for 11 days. It was great. It worked out fine. It was hard on my shoulder and arthritis and my bones, but I slept very well and I was very comfortable. Um, I spent part of the time camping with my friends, and I spent part of the time visiting my family. I enjoyed both of those, but for somebody like me, I guess it's an introvert or whatever you want to call me. Um, that's very stressful. It's times I had part of that time where I was completely by myself. And out of those 11 days, the most enjoyable time that I had was when I was on my own. And just, didn't have anything planned, didn't have anywhere to go. I was just going to go, I had to, if I was going to eat, I had to work it out myself, either stop and get something or, cook something if I was camping somewhere. So, but I really enjoyed that. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think the goal here is to get some peace and tranquility. And I may not be able to do it all the time. I may not be able to do it for 100% of the time. I don't think any plan is perfect. Even the one if my dreams came true, I don't think it would be what I think it would be. So, you know, I think right now is debate. Take what I've got, make the best use of it, and find some of that peace and tranquility as often as I can. But at the same time, still work toward my goals, and to make this better, to make it a more comfortable situation to camp in and spend more time doing that, both from a financial standpoint of being able to, and from a comfort standpoint of being able to make that my current vehicle, more comfortable to camp in hot weather, cool weather, cold weather. Cold weather camping is a lot of fun. I've always liked it. Getting too old for it, but if my vehicle is nice and warm to come back to, I would love it. So I've got some real possibilities here. I've got to make best use of what I've got, and I think that's what's important to me right now. And I think that's what's best for me right now. I don't have the money to meet those goals. Even in 18 months, that was going to be a stretch. I'm not giving up on that plan. Don't get me wrong. I'm just going to try to incorporate as much of it as I can and meet the ultimate goal, which is getting as much peace and tranquility and independence as I can right now, and then work toward making that situation more and more time and better as we go. And I think I can do that. I think that's a realistic situation, and I think I can do that with the money that I've got and the money that I have to work with. And I'm talking indefinitely, because that's what I'm trying to do here, is set up something that I can live with for the rest of my life, and not just, take a vacation or have a year where I travel and have a lot of fun. This is something I'm trying to get into where I can get in a pattern where I can do it basically for the rest of my life, or at least as long as I can travel and do that. So yeah, I want things to be positive. Things have been too negative, and it's time to turn that around. And I feel great about it where it is. I have problems. Everybody does, and I've been hit with a lot of crap that I didn't plan on, but I'm going to make the best of it. and it's time to do that. And I want this channel to be positive. I want everybody out there that's in a situation that's similar to mine to know that, you know, keep trying. It gets better. Count your blessings, make the best of the resources you've got, and keep working at it. And I think if you do that, I plan on doing that, and I think if I would recommend it to anybody. So thanks for watching. Thanks for viewing. My next video, I hope to be real soon. I'm going to be working on a vent for my window to make it comfortable, and I plan to go camping pretty soon. So I hope you tune in for that, and hope that vent works good. We'll see, and then we'll see where I can find a good camping for a while. But appreciate you guys watching, and if nothing else, just talking to this camera has been a real benefit to me. So thank you guys. All right, see you later.